Yoga is also connected with the different ways of liberation narrated in the Bhagavad Gita, which is the classical scriptural text of the Hinduism. In the Bhagavad Gita, there are predominantly three ways of liberation, known as the liberation based on devotion, bhakti marga, liberation through actions, known as karma marga, and liberation through acquiring knowledge, jnana marga. These three ways of liberation are arranged in such a way that a person can progress through various ways of liberation, or according to each one's mental aptitude can choose a particular way. For example, if a person is back to a younger age, will be more enthusiastic in doing actions, doing selfless service for others, helping others in various ways, particularly the people, those who need help. And such a person will get satisfaction, enjoyment by doing work, doing help for others. Similarly, doing work in a temple or in a church or in a meditation center also will be a help for a person to progress in the path of devotion. When a person spends time in devotional practices like singing bhajan, participating in prayer sessions, or doing meditations, a person is able to go deeper into the spiritual life, leading to God experience. That way of spiritual progress is known as bhakti marga. Yet there is another way of liberation known as jnana marga, where a person through academic pursuit and meditation gets knowledge, intuition about God that will help that person to realize or to reach God experience. Apart from these three ways of liberation, there is a fourth way known as Rajamarga, in which we have the yogic techniques of spiritual progress and meditation. These four methods of liberation are helpful for a Christian, helpful for any person belonging to any faith, tradition, or religious tradition. How is it possible for a Christian to follow the practice of actions, karma marga, by doing selfless service for others, helping the poor and the needy in the various stages of life? A person can progress in spiritual life. In fact, Jesus himself, during his public ministry, spent a lot of time teaching others, curing the sick, casting out the devils, being with the poor, the shepherd, the prostitutes, and the ordinary people of his time. Those were loving service which he rendered to the ordinary people. So a person who is willing to spend his time, energy, talents for the sake of others, for the service of others, can progress in spiritual life. Similarly, a person, whether he is a Christian or a Muslim or a Hindu or any other religious tradition, by devotional practices, participating in practices, singing bhajans or hymns or common prayer sessions, or on another level, participating in meditation sessions or doing meditation in solitude and silence, can help a person to go deeper in God experience, will experience peace, and such a person will experience peace and harmony within himself or herself, as well as harmony with the rest of the world and the rest of the creation. And Jnana Marga, the way of liberation through acquiring knowledge, which is mainly followed in the Vedanta tradition, also explained in the last 6 chapters of the Bhagavad Gita, focuses more on acquiring knowledge about the reality, about the world in which we live, about other human persons, about God ultimately. And in the final stage, such a person will reach a level where a person will get intuitive knowledge about God, about reality around, and such a person can experience the liberation, can experience God while he or she is alive in this world. That is liberation, the way of liberation through acquiring knowledge. It is not only the empirical knowledge, it is an inclusive approach towards knowledge, where a person gets knowledge about the world through intuition, gets knowledge about God and reality around. Similarly, a Christian or a person belonging to any other religious tradition can follow the disciplined way of life like yoga, going through the different stages of practicing, so that a person can prepare himself or herself to concentrate more on the topic of prayer by withdrawing his mind, senses and intellect, developing control over the senses and intellect, then getting more concentration, getting into the meditation, different kinds of meditation. Meditation will help a person again to get connected with the rest of reality, connected with oneself, what is happening within oneself, and also to get connected with God and leading to liberation. The way of disciplined life, which is known as Rajamarga or yoga, way of liberation, is also helpful irrespective of culture or religious tradition. But in certain cases, a person who belongs to another tradition than Hindu or tradition may find it difficult theologically or from the faith perspective whether such a person can take to the practice of yoga, because yoga is closely associated with the Hindu tradition, where certain deities are focused, like Lord Shiva. My personal experience is it is possible for a person to practice yoga even when he or she belongs to another religious tradition. Such a person doesn't have to subscribe to the faith of the yoga tradition, or need not believe in the God which yoga projects, like Lord Shiva or any other gods in the Hindu tradition. Adopting some of the techniques and methods can enhance or deepen his or her own spiritual search and prayer methods, in whether it is in Christian tradition or in any other tradition. In that way, a person who doesn't belong to the Hindu tradition also can practice yogic techniques as a method of prayer, as a method for deeper concentration, also as a method to maintain good health and peace of mind and body.